Part 26. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 251. The pink and jade-carved ninth Princess Yao Wei came over with a worried look on her face, hugged Suchen's legs and raised her head and said, "Master, can you not go to Abyss of Fear? It's really dangerous there. Zhu'er doesn't want to lose his master." The third princess, Ling Shuang, hugged little Wei and urged Suchen. "The Abyss of Fear is a huge whirlpool on the sea, and the ship can no longer move forward. Why are you still dawdling here? Go quickly, maybe the ancestor will be happy to see you and reward you with a scale or two." Suchen spread his hands and said, "How to get there? It's still 30 miles away." The third princess Ling Shuang snorted coldly and called the new first officer from outside. "Go there yourself and send this person to the Abyss of Fear." Although apart from paying tribute every year, not many people are willing to go to the Abyss of Fear. But the first mate was afraid that if he hesitated a little, he would be killed by the captain, so he responded quickly. When Suchen walked out of the captain's cabin, the pirates looked at him with fear and curiosity. The person who can be in the same room with the moody and murderous captain and still walk out safely must be as terrifying as the captain. Several pirates worked together to lower a small harpoon speedboat hanging from the stern of the ship into the sea. Suchen got on the boat and asked the first mate who was busy raising the sail, "Is this boat fast?" "Sir, the speed is not much slower than our Vengeance Queen, and it has 2 extra soft sails." Suchen nodded. All 3 soft sails of the small harpoon speedboat were raised, and it sailed away like an arrow from the string. About half an hour later, Suchen could already hear a huge rumbling sound. It seemed that there was something a huge sea monster hides on the bottom of the sea and roars. The sea surface in front begins to sink. As we get closer, a huge whirlpool that almost spans the sky appears in front of us. The small harpoon speedboat begins to drive uncontrollably, and as the whirlpool turn. Ding! Congratulations on discovering the new map Abyss of Fear. Gain experience points *100. A system prompt sounded in Suchen's mind. The first mate shouted to Suchen, "Grown-ups! When we see this whirlpool, it means that we have entered the Abyss of Fear, and our ship has been captured by the whirlpool and cannot go back. Remember, don't talk nonsense here, the ancestor will hear you." "Oh, yes, my lord. How many tributes did you bring to the Abyss of Fear this time? I heard that you are coming from the mainland. If you can bring some specialties from the mainland and enough gold coins, I believe our ancestor will let us out soon." "Tribute? Su Chen raised his eyebrows, spread his hands, and said, "I didn't bring any tribute." "What?" The first mate couldn't stand still and almost fell from the steering wheel into the sea. He looked pale, with a stiff smile on his face, and tentatively said, "Sir, you must be joking with me. How can you come to Abyss of Fear without bringing a tribute?" "I really didn't bring any." "Su Chen said seriously, I'm not going to please it. After all, it's useless to please it after what I did. Why bring tribute?" "Bah!" The first mate looked at Suchen blankly, slumped on the ground, and said with a cry, "Sir, if we don't bring tribute, we will die inside if we go out." "Oh!" Suchen responded casually with an expressionless face, looking extremely indifferent. The first mate was desperate and cried like a child in front of the sea. I knew, you wouldn't live long as a first mate. 13 first mates died before, but now that I'm here, I'm going to die before I last even half a day. I don't want to die. I haven't married yet, the old Zheng family still expects me to go back and carry on the family line. It's a pity no matter how much the pirate first mate cries. The harpoon speedboat, caught in the huge whirlpool, is still moving towards the center of the whirlpool, the abyss, at an ever-increasing speed. On board the Vengeance Queen 30 miles away. The ninth Princess Yao Wei, who was crying so hard, took advantage of her sister not paying attention. He turned around and transformed into a foot-long little sea dragon, slipped out through the crack in the door, jumped off the pirate ship, dived into the sea, and disappeared in an instant. Xiaojue. The third princess Ling Shuang was shocked and angry. She rushed out of the captain's room and looked in the direction of the abyss of fear. Without thinking, she jumped directly into the sea. After diving for tens of meters, she took off the disguise props on her body. She immediately transformed into a huge sea dragon that was 100 meters long, roared in the water and chased after his sister's breath. The pirates were shocked and looked at their captain as he jumped into the sea and disappeared into the sea without leaving a word. Captain, what's going on? Bath? Or, play? I advise you not to be too curious about the captain's affairs and wait patiently. Otherwise, the next first officer may be one of you. Ba ba ba. Dogs bark. Unlucky. As we get closer and closer to the center of the vortex, the harpoon speedboat also rotates faster and faster. The entire hull tilted at a terrifying angle. Suchen, who was experiencing this kind of thing for the first time, felt like he was being sucked into a black hole. Looking upward, the huge whirlpool looks like a mountain basin, surrounded by dark blue water. The harpoon speedboat he was in was as small as a thin leaf, drifting with the current. Amidst the huge rumblings of the whirlpool and the screams of the first mate, an unstoppable suction suddenly appeared. Before the harpoon speedboat was about to disintegrate, it was sucked into the center of the vortex and disappeared. After the world turned upside down. When he opened his eyes again, he saw a strange space in front of him. The sky covers the flat ground like a giant bowl. From time to time, lightning flashes of green, gold, red, black, gray, and white colors flashed across the sky, making rumbles and explosions. In the distance, there are dozens of stretching mountains creeping across the earth. Those six-color lightning strikes towards the mountains in the distance. From Suchen's feet to the mountains. Everywhere is covered with layers of gold, silver, jewelry, and rare and exotic plants. The dazzling jewels even made Suchen unable to open his eyes. Ding! Warn! You have entered the sealing formation of the six realms of heaven and earth. Die here and cannot be reborn. Suchen's heart trembled when he heard the system prompt. Being unable to be reborn, does that mean that he can only delete his account and rebuild it? Or, will he also die in reality? Sir, don't move. The pirate first mate also woke up, lying on the ground, looking at the mountains in the distance with a horrified face, and said to Suchen in a very low voice. The ancestors lived there. I also have more than 100 gold coins with me, just treat it as a tribute for our trip. I hope the ancestor will not blame me. If we're lucky, it only takes a cup of tea and we can go back. The pirate first mate shook his head and took out all his belongings from his body, placed them on the ground, and then kowtowed towards the mountains. Suchen looked around with his hands behind his back, pointed at the gold and silver jewelry on the floor and said, "Are these the treasures you paid tribute to?" "Yes, sir, please don't take any chances with these treasures. They are tributes given to the ancestors by countless sea tribes and pirates over tens of thousands of years. If you touch them, you will die without a burial place." The pirate first mate hurriedly warned, lest Suchen would do something outrageous. But he was just afraid of what would come. There is no reason for a person like Suchen to go deep into the treasure mountain and return empty-handed. What's more, he came here in the first place. They just stole things. The treasures in front of me, just the gold coins, are piled up in countless piles. I'm afraid there are hundreds of billions or trillions of them. Not to mention other rare materials, gems, and crystals. I don't even think about it at the moment, I just divide it. Come out of Black Dragon G Mengli's clone and activate the greed skill _Fe. Lu reminds you, 3 things about reading, collect, recommend, and share. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 252. The surrounding gold and silver treasures rolled up like a storm. The overwhelming force is flying towards Black Dragon G. Mengli. Ding. You get the ordinary material sulfur * 100 million. Ding. You get rare level elemental crystal * 2.8 billion. Ding. You get the epic material amethyst coral * 1.02 million. Ding. You get the legendary material eternal pearl * 90,000. Ding. You get the holy object skull of the Siren King * 256. Ding. You get the holy object Hydra King demonic crystal * 108. Ding. You get coin * 3 billion. Ding. You get purple gold coin * 5 million. Ding. You get gold coins * 10.7 billion. Ding. You get gold coins * 9.6 billion. Ding. You get. The system prompt sounded in Suchen's mind like a flood. In the backpack space, rows of grids are filled with various materials, gems, crystals, and antiques. Just 10 minutes. Suchen's super large backpack space of 100,000 slots was actually filled with 50,000 slots. If I had known there were so many treasures hidden here, why would I have sold the land? Suchen grinned. He waved his hand and consumed 90,000 gold coins, expanding the backpack space to 1 million spaces. The most treasures around were gold coins. Black Dragon G. Mengli used the greed skill to absorb layer after layer. Those stacks of gold coins were almost all stuck together as tributes from who knows how many thousands or tens of thousands of years ago. When Suchen came to his side, they were all converted into his game coins. 10 billion, 20 billion, 50 billion, 100 billion. Haha. If we collect another 200 billion gold coins, all of my 10,000 golden dragons will be ready for production. The pirate first mate was kneeling on the ground, looking at the sudden appearance of a huge black dragon, sucking up all the tributes that had been paid here for tens of thousands of years like a whale swallowing water. His eyes suddenly widened. His eyes were full of fear. It's actually robbing the ancestors' tribute. The ancestor sealed here is the supreme god of the entire endless sea. The master of all sea races and pirates. He is an irresistible and terrifying existence. But this black dragon, this audacious black dragon, dares to move ancestors' stuff. When the ancestor was angry, his corpse floated thousands of miles away. The pirate first mate has been told this folk song by his elders since he was a child. All pirates and sea tribesmen have known since childhood that the ancestors in the abyss of fear are existences that must not be desecrated. Once you offend the ancestor, there is only one consequence, death without a burial place. Kill the entire clan. Thinking of this horrific consequence, the pirate first mate rushed to Suchen's feet and begged. Stop sucking it, give it back. If we offend our ancestors, we will all die. Suchen kicked him away and said. Since it can be collected by me, it is an ownerless thing. Since it is an ownerless thing, if you don't take it, it will be in vain. Black Dragon G. Mengli roared, and she agreed very much with her master's words. She spread her wings, and more treasures were absorbed in a moment. The pirate first mate let out a hiccup and was so frightened that he rolled his eyes. He passed out and absorbed it for another quarter of an hour. The number of treasures in the entire space was almost 1/3. The number of gold coins in Suchen's backpack also reached a terrifying 380 billion. Other rare treasures were added. There are countless of them. At this moment, Black Dragon G. Mengli stopped absorbing. She returned to Suchen with a solemn expression and whispered. Master, something is wrong, it seems like something extremely terrifying is about to awaken. Oh! Suchen was shocked. He looked at the mountains in the distance where the six-colored thunder and lightning were constantly bombarding him. Ocean Overlord Leviathan, is he finally awakened? Suchen didn't know where this terrifying monster was hiding in this space. He was plundering the tributes here, firstly to obtain property. Secondly, it was to deliberately wake up Ocean Overlord Leviathan. Only by finding this guy can we look for opportunities to get the adaptive scale armor. Boom! The ground shook violently. In the extremely shocked eyes of Suchen and Ji Mengli, one of the mountains stretching thousands of miles in the distance, the whole thing collapsed. The mountain tops and boulders flew away. A huge tentacle thousands of miles long slowly lifted up from the mountain range. Suchen's eyes widened in an instant. Let me guess, a tentacle is thousands of miles long. So these dozens of mountains are all its tentacles. At the same time, a huge sound like a bell came from all directions. It made Suchen's ears buzz. Who dares to disturb my sleep? Together with this huge sound. For a while, the originally peaceful sky suddenly became manic. The six-color lightning became more and more dense, constantly bombarding the raised tentacle. Use the power of heaven and earth to ban this ancient thing. The shock wave caused by the collision between the two directly cut open the space and spread to all directions at an extremely fast speed. Not good. Suchen was startled, and a warning sign of extreme danger arose. He immediately took Black Dragon Ji Mengli into his body. At the same time, he turned his palms, and 3 god-level substitute dolls were crushed by him. 3 colorful rays of light suddenly appeared. Shrouded Suchen. At this moment, a terrifying shock wave came instantly. Chi, chi, chi. The 2 colorful rays of light in front were easily chopped up by the shock wave one after another. Ding. Consume god-level stand-in doll *1. Failed to resist the attack. Ding. Consume god-level stand-in doll *1. Failed to resist the attack. Wait until the last colorful light. Ding. Congratulations on successfully triggering a lucky event. Consume god-level stand-in doll *1. You successfully resisted a god-level attack. What Suchen didn't expect was that this shockwave actually had a god-level attack power. The previous 2 stand-in dolls failed to trigger the 30% probability of resisting a god-level attack. The last time, the lucky gem finally came into play. It worked, allowing the 3rd stand-in doll to withstand the shockwave. The unconscious pirate first mate behind him was cut into 2 halves and could no longer die. Suchen wiped the cold sweat. Fear in my heart. I didn't expect my face to be so dark. The first 2 times I didn't trigger the god-level attack resistance, the last time, I relied on the lucky gem to successfully trigger it. The main god-level attack is still a main god-level attack that is not suppressed by the rules of the Divine Continent. Once he comes, Suchen will definitely die. Even the fatal blow of the Guardian Holy Ring was useless. Because the power of this attack has far exceeded the endurance of this legendary ring. If he really died in this abyss of fear, the joke would be on. In the 6 realms of heaven and earth sealing formation space, death cannot be reborn. Boom. Tentacles that are thousands of miles long are ultimately no match for the terrifying bombardment of 6-colored thunder and lightning. Falling hard to the ground. It hit so hard that the whole space shook violently. Roar. As if unwilling to be defeated by the 6-color thunder and lightning, a huge roar sounded throughout the sealing formation space. At the same time, swish. 2 huge beams of cold blue light shot out from the depths of the earth. Like 2 giant searchlights, the entire sky was dyed cyan. Suchen was startled. He quickly looked down. I saw a pair of huge vertical eyes dozens of miles in size suddenly opened under the earth. Only then did Suchen realize. The flat ground turned out to be a kind of transparent spar, probably no more than tens of meters thick. Under the transparent crystal, there is actually some kind of ancient giant locked inside. Only two vertical eyes dozens of miles in size were exposed, looking coldly at the sky, and then at Suchen coldly. Terrifying pressure descended. Suchen's shoulders only sank slightly, and then immediately returned to normal. Are you not afraid of my mighty pressure? Feeler reminds you, 3 things about reading: collect, recommend, and share. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 253. An extremely majestic and arrogant voice suddenly sounded in Suchen's mind. There seemed to be a hint of surprise in his voice. 2 beams of green light radiated from the ground, condensing on Suchen. It seemed like he wanted to see through him. Without waiting for Suchen to answer, the voice continued to ring in his head. That's right, you are the same as him, you have the blood of the Dragon King, even the gods can be manipulated by applause, so how can you be afraid of me? In Suchen's ears, these words were like a bomb, shaking him to a standstill. Can you tell my bloodline? Ha 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 ha, I, Li Vaden, was born and raised, live as long as the sun and the moon, and have lived for millions of years. How can I not see your bloodline? Li Vaden. Suchen looked stunned. Ocean Overlord Leviathan, Li Vaden. Yes, let's get to know each other again. My name is Li Vaden, which means Dan from the rising red sun, which means Rishon. Suchen. Damn, this ancient ocean overlord. A tentacle is thousands of miles long, no different from a mountain range. One eye spans dozens of miles. An ancient level existence that cannot even be killed by the 6-color thunder and lightning of the Lord God level. There is actually a word for Z country style. His name is Li Vaden, and he also has a special name, called Rishon. Suchen opened his mouth and was stunned for a long time, then he cupped his hands and said, I admire you for a long time, I admire you. Dare to use such a word, Suchen said that he was still very convinced. Well, that guy named Subuking gave me this word, saying it was domineering enough and matched me well. Looking at your inexperienced look, it seems that guy Subuking didn't lie to me. Suchen. It's Subuking again. The Qing emperor of the Great Yan Empire thousands of years ago. The supreme who unified the divine continent and swept across the 6 realms. He actually had an encounter with this ancient ocean overlord. The Qing emperor from thousands of years ago. Why is he looking for you? Suchen was extremely curious and asked. He wanted me to help him fight on condition that he help me break the seal. Li Vaden's arrogant voice said in Suchen's mind. But I refused. Why? Suchen's eyes widened. Someone helped you break the seal, but you still refused. Is it fun to be locked up here? Li Vaden sneered. That guy is so strong. Fighting with him won't show my dominance. I, Li Vaden, was born and raised and live as long as the sun and the moon. How can I be someone else's foil? Suchen. It makes so much sense. No wonder the Qing emperor from thousands of years ago gave you the title Rishon, and you really live up to your name. Suchen didn't wait for a response. Li Vaden continued, you also have the blood of the Dragon King, and you are destined to follow Subuking's path in the future. Do you want me to help you fight? Suchen was shocked. I wipe it? An ancient existence with main god level strength that cannot even be killed by the gods and demons of the 6 realms, but can only be sealed. You actually offered to help me fight? I'm afraid the Qing emperor from thousands of years ago didn't even have this face. Suchen frowned and asked, why do you want to help me? Li Vaden said very bachelorly, because helping you fight will give me a sense of accomplishment. Suchen. Damn it. Is this a disguised way of saying that my strength is poor? Should I be angry or happy? What about the conditions? Suchen asked. An ancient existence like Li Vaden who has lived for millions of years cannot help him for no reason. Help me break the seal. Levaden said. Suchen did not agree to him immediately. Instead, he thought for a while, stood up and looked around. With his god-level mechanism engineering technique, he could only barely see a little clue of the seal formation. It seemed to condense the heaven and earth. The power of the six realms was also mixed with the power of the six realms to jointly suppress Levaden, an ancient level being. The layout of the entire formation can be said to be painstaking. It is not that easy to crack the seal formation of the six realms of heaven and earth. A bit difficult. Suchen said honestly. Ha 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 ha. Unexpectedly, Levaden burst out laughing. That's why I'm looking for you. Seeing how embarrassed you are, you really feel a sense of accomplishment. It would be too boring for Subuking to break the seal with just one sword. Come on, let me teach you. Suchen's face immediately darkened. Did this guy come to me specifically to feel a sense of accomplishment? The green light condensed and swept over Suchen's body. The latter immediately felt as if all his secrets had been revealed. Levaden said in a tone full of contempt. Well, his qualifications are too low, far behind Subuking's fellow. Well, with my current sealing status, I can only mention 500 stars to you first. A beam of warm green light came out, and then directly sank into Suchen's body. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the 212-star qualification granted by Ocean Overlord Leviathan. Your current total qualification star level is 500 stars. I'll go. Improve it by more than 200 stars directly. I didn't expect such benefits. Suchen was overjoyed. This is almost comparable to the rewards obtained in Qingyun Palace. Qualification star level, whether it is an upgrade obtaining free attribute points or comprehending the fragment of the heavenly book, is of great benefit. Naturally, the more, the merrier. After Levaden raised Suchen's qualification star level, he then said in surprise. Huh? You actually already possess the god-level mechanism engineering technique, not bad. Then I leave this volume Heavenly Universe Formation Diagram to you to understand. After all, you have the foundation. When the time comes, you only need to break through this formation, and I will be able to break it with my strength. A blue jade book, glowing with precious light, condensed from two blue light pillars shooting out from the ground, and fell into Suchen's hands. Ding! You get the divine item Heavenly Universe Array *1. Suchen was shocked and said in surprise. Heavenly Formation Diagram, where did you get it? The Heaven Realm and the Ultimate Bliss Realm are the two most mysterious realms among the six realms. Very few things stray into the divine continent. Levaden snorted coldly. Of course it was given to me by Subuking's guy. He swept through the six realms and couldn't get anything. Even the most beautiful goddess in the six realms was kidnapped by him. Humph, I've seen it a long time ago. This guy is also a pervert. Suchen. Seeing Levaden give him two rewards in a row, he was quite kind to him. Suchen said simply. Well, I heard that the scales on your body also have a bit of adaptive resistance. Can you give me 180? You want my scales? Levaden's tone was surprised, and then he burst into laughter. There was actually a bit of contentment in his laughter. You're a smart kid, but I have an adaptive talent that is astonishing and weeping. Who doesn't covet and envy me? Even the scales on my body are stained with some of this extremely powerful power. I think you like it, so if you want these scales, you can, but you have to come and get them yourself. It depends on whether you dare. Levaden laughed again immediately. Do you want me to go and get it myself? Suchen frowned and once again observed the space of the six worlds of heaven and earth sealing formation. After a long time, he said in a deep voice, this formation only seals your body. If anything related to your body, even a hair, changes, it will immediately be bombarded by a large array. So, you can give me the Jade Book and improve my star level, but you can't move your own body, even just a scale. Huh? You're smart, you figured it out so quickly. Haha, now that you know the pros and cons, it's up to you whether you can get my ancestors' scales or not. Levaden said calmly. There seemed to be some kind of expectation in his tone. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 254. Chapter 252 and 253 have been overhauled. Suchen frowned and thought for a while. Then he looked at the dozens of mountains in the distance. Especially the mountain-shaped tentacles that had collapsed and were covered with rocks. Are there scales on your tentacles? Will it be extremely difficult to take off? Suchen asked. My whole body is covered with scales, the big ones are like mountains and the small ones are like plates. If you want to take it off, the difficulty depends on my heart. It all depends on how close you are to my ancestor. Levaden said with strong interest. Well, I hope you can take the initiative to loosen a few scales when I break through. Suchen said with a serious expression. Levaden, as a being that even the main gods cannot kill, if he doesn't take the initiative to loosen his scales, it is estimated that few people in the world can take off his scales. After saying this, Suchen's figure changed. Flash, activate the flash skill. Fly towards the mountain range in the distance at an extremely fast speed. Do you really dare to rush over? Your courage is comparable to that of Subuking. Well, I kind of like you. Levaden said in Suchen's mind with an appreciative tone. Sorry, I'm not gay. Suchen said in a bad mood as he flew by. However, his expression became more and more solemn. The closer he got to the mountain range, the more obvious the thorny feeling brought by the six-color lightning above his head. Wait until the distance when the mountain range was only 10 miles away, a transparent light film 100 meters thick blocked the front. Levaden's voice sounded in my mind. Boy, don't say I didn't warn you, if you go further, you will reach the core area of the ceiling formation. If you can't see through the formation's eyes, you will definitely not be able to break through the divine power barrier in the core area. After all, not everyone is Subuking, possessing an artifact that can ignore all restrictions. Levaden hasn't finished speaking yet. I saw Suchen activate flash repeatedly. He actually ignored the transparent light film blocking the front and passed by in a flash. Extremely easy. This scene made Levaden's two huge eyes sealed in the ground widen even more. You. Before he could finish speaking, Suchen has arrived at the foot of the mountain range. Looking up at the tentacle mountains thousands of meters high, Suchen said in a deep voice, Levaden, fall off your scales. Levaden reminded Suchen in his mind. Boy. If you have any life-saving means, just use it. When you get the scales, the six-color lightning will hit you. Or, if you have any last words that you haven't said yet, you can tell me first. If I am in a good mood in the future, I might fulfill your last wish. Suchen thought for a while and said. I really have a question, since you have that heavenly map, why don't you understand it yourself? With your strength, you should have broken the seal in 1,000 years, right? Suchen asked this question. Unexpectedly, Levaden was silent for a long time. Thinking of Levaden's previous words, break it with force. Suchen doubted, could it be that, your talent is only for strength and resistance, not for long periods of time, brain? I gave you this diagram, but you can't understand it? Take the master's scales and roll them away. Levaden roared in anger. A blue scale with a diameter of 1 meter shot towards Suchen. The latter quickly caught it. Ding. You get adaptive scale armor *1. Suddenly, the six-color lightning in the sky became manic again. The terrifying pressure pressed against Suchen like Mount Tai. Fortunately, the latter had the supreme bloodline of the Dragon King. Otherwise, just this terrifying pressure would be enough. He could not move, or even exploded to death on the spot. Suchen quickly took out the artifact mirror image scepter. With a thought, the heart of divine power inlaid on the scepter immediately bloomed with dazzling colorful brilliance. Mirror. Copy Ocean Overlord Leviathan. Copy, copy, copy. Suchen shouted in his heart and copied the mirror images one after another. Ding. Consumes divine power *10. Congratulations on successfully copying the true god level Ocean Overlord Leviathan mirror *1. Ding. Consumes divine power *10. Congratulations on successfully copying the true god level Ocean Overlord Leviathan mirror *1. Ding. Consumes divine power *10. Congratulations on successfully triggering a super lucky event. Copy the special general level Ocean Overlord Leviathan mirror *1. Suchen consumed all 100 points of the divine power of the heart of divine power on the mirror scepter. 10 strange ancient creatures with 8 corners, 16 legs, and 32 tentacles were copied one after another, and appeared around Suchen. Although the size was far not as huge as the real Leviathan, but still over 1,000 meters tall. There is a terrifying aura around him. One of them actually triggered a super lucky event. It is especially huge, 3,000 meters tall, and its power is even greater than the other 9. It's even more terrifying when combined. He actually has special general level strength. I wonder if he can catch that lightning for me. Copying the mirror image can only be done in a flash of lightning. Suchen got the scales and did not dare to delay for a moment. They flashed outwards continuously. 10 mirror image creatures also followed Suchen closely. There was a boom. Ching, 6 colors of lightning, gold, red, black, gray and white, intertwined together and shot towards Suchen below. A warning sign suddenly appeared in the latter's heart. Danger! At the critical moment, 10 mirror image creatures blocked in front of Suchen. Boom! 6-color lightning struck down. The 9-headed god-level mirror image creature was completely vulnerable. Under the terrifying 6-color lightning, it was as direct as a bubble. Collapsed and dissipated. Only that special god-level mirror image creature actually blocked the 6-color lightning for a moment. In this moment, Leviathan, who had been waiting attentively, immediately dropped a green light and enveloped Suchen's body. Buzz. The latter was instantly teleported out of the ceiling formation space and returned directly to the edge of the huge whirlpool. After that special general god-level mirror image creature won this precious moment for Suchen, he could no longer hold on and was 6. The colored lightning penetrated directly into the body and exploded directly. However, the 6-colored lightning did not stop. It turned a corner and followed Suchen's teleportation trajectory and ran out of the sealed space. However, something with such terrifying power could not stop. Going to the outer space is naturally not allowed by the rules of the divine continent. Once out of the sealed space, the overall power was immediately weakened by 99%. However, only this 1% of power bombarded Su floating on the sea. Chen's body actually made a series of explosions. Ding! You are attacked by the seal formation of the 6 realms of heaven and earth. Guardian Holy Ring successfully withstood the first fatal blow. Ding! You are attacked by the seal formation of the 6 realms of heaven and earth. Guardian Holy Ring successfully withstood the second fatal blow. Ding! You are attacked by the seal formation of the 6 realms of heaven and earth. Guardian Holy Ring successfully withstood the 50th fatal blow. The legendary Holy Guardian Ring worn on his body flashed 50 times in succession. The 6-color lightning was barely able to dissipate. WQNMLGB. Suchen was so shocked that he broke into cold sweat and cursed loudly. Feeler reminds you, 3 things about reading: collect, recommend, and share. Online games. I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 255. Boy, are you dead? No sound. Unexpectedly, Li Vaiden's voice actually broke through the ceiling formation and sounded in Suchen's mind again. Thinking that although this guy was locked in the formation, he could launch terrifying sea invasions again and again, he must have some kind of connection. Internal and external skills. Suchen figured out the reason and said loudly. Don't worry, I'm lucky. Can't die. Li Vaiden laughed loudly. Good. You can't even be killed by six-color lightning, you really impress me. When you comprehend the heavenly universe array and help me to be born, apart from other things, I can still kill 180 gods and demons for you. Ding. You received the god-level hidden mission issued by Ocean Overlord Leviathan, Rishon. Comprehend the heaven-universe array, destroy the heaven and earth six-realm seal formation, and help Ocean Overlord Leviathan get out of trouble, and you will get his full help. At the same time, it will completely anger the six realms and attract revenge from the six realms. Seeing the name of this god-level hidden mission that suddenly appeared, Suchen was stunned. God-level hidden mission, day and day, what a domineering mission name. It is indeed the style of this guy Li Vaiden. But even if Suchen understands the heavenly universe formation diagram, he will not destroy the ceiling formation so quickly. Suchen's current strength is still too weak. He does not really have a group of gods and demon-level dragon riders. There is no one. A floating fortress that can truly resist the attacks of gods and demons. He is not fully prepared. He will not act rashly and start a battle with the six realms easily. The super god-level talent infinite fusion in this life is hard won. He doubted that if he was reborn in the 10th life, he would still have such good luck and opportunities. Build walls high, accumulate grain widely, and be king slowly. This Ming Emperor Zhu Yuanzhang's strategy of keeping a low profile and biding time is now also applicable to Suchen. Of course, slowly becoming king in Suchen's case refers to delaying the complete irritation of the six realms. But first unify the divine continent and have enough power, and then duel with the six realms. After thinking about it, Suchen asked. Li Rishon, is there any way to let your sea tribe concentrate on attacking a city? Oh? Do you have any enemies? No problem, just tell me your name. An order from me can be spread throughout the endless sea in one day. No one in the Sea Clan dares not to listen. Dragon City, help me focus on attacking Dragon City. It's best to use a deadly attack, a suicidal attack, or a mindless attack. Don't engage in any strategy, tactics, or the trinity of land, sea, and air. Just smash them all against the city wall. The kind that never looks back until death. Hiss. Li Vaiden heard it a little strange. What are the requirements? Why does it sound weird? Can I ask, which kingdom or race does it belong to? How much hatred do you have? Well, this dragon city belongs to me. Suchen said directly. Li Vaiden. He suddenly realized that after living for millions of years, he could no longer keep up with Suchen's unique ideas. Is it because I have been sealed for too long and cannot keep up with the trend of the times? Is it popular to beat yourself up now? The kind that is more violent, bloody, and exciting? After a long silence, Li Vaiden asked. Are you sure you want to do this? Sure. Suchen said categorically. The more High Clan come, the better, and the harder they attack, the better. Li Vaiden. Could it be that the other party has some kind of blood refining technique similar to the demon world, which requires the blood of countless sea people to refine some kind of big killer weapon? Li Vaiden, who didn't understand what Suchen wanted to do, could only agree to his strange request. Oh, by the way, boy, I don't know your name yet. Suchen curled his lips and said directly without hiding anything. Pseudonym Junlin, real name Suchen. Chen. In the space of the ceiling formation of the six realms of heaven and earth, two huge vertical pupils suddenly opened again. The blue light illuminated the entire sky blue like a searchlight. Suchen, One step into the blue clouds, one step into dust. They are all of the bloodline of the Supreme Dragon King. The same arrogance, the same extraordinary courage, the same unpredictable thoughts. Could it be that, this guy is the reincarnation of Subuking after his death? Nyangzipais, God bets, I fell into the trap of Subuking. If this guy grows to the same strength as Subuking, I won't help him fight even if I pretend to be sick, pretend to be dead, self-mutilate, and continue to be sealed for 1,000,000 years. I, Li Rishan, was born to support the earth and live as long as the sun and the moon. How can I be a green leaf for others? There was no more Li Vaiden's voice in my mind. Suchen was about to return to the pirate ship Queen of Revenge. Just then, a small foot-long sea dragon swimming rapidly hit his arms. Owner! Great Master! Juer finally found you. Woohoo! Little Hailong turned into a cute little Lolita of 5 or 6 years old, hugging Suchen tightly. The worries in his heart turned into infinite surprise, and he couldn't help crying. Suchen smiled and touched her little head. With one hand holding a round black scale 1 meter in diameter in one hand. Start checking. Adaptive scale armor. Grade, God level. Function, integrated into equipment, it can make the equipment have adaptive resistance, gradually adapt to, and become immune to any attack or negative status. It can be immune to true God level attacks and negative status at most. Description: the scales of ocean overlord Leviathan have a trace of the adaptive resistance of this ancient behemoth. As time goes by, this magical resistance will gradually disappear. Well, this scale armor is only immune to true God level attacks at best. Looking at the description of adaptive scale armor, Suchen was thoughtful. It seems that if you want to obtain the same unlimited adaptive resistance as Li Vaiden, you must consume a super God level fusion. Above the God level, there are general God level, main God level, and even God level. Suchen naturally wanted to obtain the ability to increase resistance infinitely. Therefore, integration and improvement are imperative. At the same time, another problem emerged. There is only one scale armor at the moment. Should it be fused with myself or with the secret realm of the Imperial City? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 256. There is only one scale armor at the moment. Should it be fused with myself or with the secret realm of the Imperial City? Suchen frowned and thought. By merging with himself, he can gain the same adaptive resistance ability as Li Vaiden. In the future, his defense ability will naturally be greatly improved. And by merging with the secret realm of the Imperial City, the entire floating city will have adaptive resistance, will definitely become a super fortress in the future. When he enters the land of Tianyuan in the future, facing the attacks of thousands of gods and demons, Suchen can rely on this super fortress to attack and defend. The army and allies can also have a place to stay. Just when Suchen was entangled in his heart, a sea dragon with a body length of 100 meters separated from the water and rushed over anxiously. Seeing the sister in Suchen's arms, the third princess Ling Shuang immediately breathed a sigh of relief. She immediately transformed into a beautiful girl and was about to pull her sister back. Her eyes swept over Suchen inadvertently, and her eyelids jumped suddenly. A pair of beautiful eyes stared at the one in Suchen's hand. The black round scales can no longer be moved away. There is nothing special about the shape of these black round scales. But there is a faint trace of ancient but extremely domineering aura coming out. This aura is both familiar and unfamiliar, making the body feel as soon as he saw her, who was a member of the Sea clan, all the hairs on his body stood up, and he felt a shudder. Are these the scales on the ancestor's body? The third princess Ling Shuang said in shock and fear. You actually stole the ancestor's adaptive scale armor. And, he still made it out alive. Suchen put the scales into the backpack space and said honestly, I didn't steal it, that guy gave it to me. The third princess Ling Shuang's face was full of disbelief. At the same time, he was very disgusted with Suchen calling his ancestor that guy. He warned with an extremely serious expression. This is the endless sea, and it is close to the abyss of fear. You have disrespected the ancestors and it is your business to be punished. Please don't drag my sister down. With that said, he took little Kwei back from Suchen's arms. Suchen rolled his eyes and didn't have the time to talk to this woman. He took out the floating plate given by Gong Shiban and stepped on it. Like an imperial treasure flying. Like a fairy, he flew towards the Vengeance Queen. Hateful guy. The third princess Ling Shuang clenched her pink fists, gritted her teeth and turned into a 100-meter sea dragon, leading her sister in pursuit. Return to the Vengeance Queen. When the pirates saw Suchen, they quickly and respectfully greeted him in unison. Someone asked in a low voice, Sir, where is the first mate who went with you to the abyss of fear? Oh, him. He died inside, and no bones or residue could be found. Suchen said casually, and then went directly to the captain's room. All the pirates looked at each other in shock. The 14th. Who will be the 15th first mate? Bot, 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 shut up your stinky crow. The third princess Ling Shuang put on the disguise props at the bottom of the sea and transformed into the burly evil beard Eric again. Hidden in her sleeve was the little sea dragon Xiao Kwei. She rushed out from the bottom of the sea. As soon as he got on the boat, he pointed at the pirate and said, You. That's you. Stop looking. Now promoted to first mate, go and wait for orders outside the door. Ah. The appointed pirate felt as if he had been struck by a bolt from the blue, and his face looked as pale as if he had lost his air. The third princess Ling Shuang strode into the captain's cabin. Slam the door. Well, here you go. Then set off to Dragon City. Suchen raised his eyes and glanced at the other party with a calm expression. Then he ordered the royal sailfish slave to pull the Revenge Queen and drive quickly towards Dragon City. This is my boat. I'm the captain. Where to go and how to go is up to me. The third princess Ling Shuang glared at Suchen and said fiercely. Suchen was lying on the bed in the captain's room and said with a comfortable expression. You really have the final say on the boat. But your life, I have the final say. Asshole. Get out of my bed. I'm going to fight you, well. The third princess Ling Shuang once again sent out hundreds of ice thorns. The little sea dragon in the sleeve gently bit her sister. Then she came out and turned into a cute little Lolita, standing in front of Suchen, blinking her big eyes, looking at the third princess Ling Shuang with aggrieved eyes. Sister, the master is not bad, the master is a good person. The third princess Ling Shuang was so angry that her face turned red. Is he a good person? You even dare to steal the scales of your ancestors, and you even take a child as young as you as a slave. How can you be a good person? You're a piece of cake, my sister's love for you is in vain. The third princess Ling Shuang turned her back and was very angry. Suchen shook his head and laughed. Serve me, and I will kill the sea monster and the Hydra clan for you. In the future, Leviathan's fellow, oh, the ancestor you call him, will be the overlord of the seabed. And you are the overlord of the sea. How? The ninth princess Yao Kwei has already told Suchen about the disaster of the Heilong clan. He knows very well what the third princess Ling Shuang wants. In this life, Suchen not only wants to unify the divine continent, but also the broader endless sea. It must also be included in his territory. Only by integrating all the resources that can be integrated can he grow at the fastest speed. Snort. You stole the ancestors' scales and now you're about to die, and you still want to drag me into the water? Do you think I am Xiaoju, or will you be fooled so easily? Snort. Ridiculous. The third princess Ling Shuang sneered. Suchen shrugged and said to the cute little Kwei, since your sister doesn't want to, Xiaojuer, you will be the overlord of the sea. He just wants a reliable agent. Since Ling Shuang is not on the road, let Xiao Kwei be the one. This girl Bingxiu is smart, and with some training, she might be able to become the overlord of the generation. Okay. Okay. Little Kwei clapped her little hands and giggled. The third princess Ling Shuang snorted at the side, scorning in her heart, huh, how good you are at deceiving a child. At this moment, Suchen's mind suddenly burst out with a large number of killings. Beep. Ding. You killed the level 4 elite spike turtle 3816 and gained experience points 930000, double experience bonus for the artifact Dragon Emperor Jade Pendant. Ding. You killed the level 4 elite armored fish 4035 and gained experience points 7.12 million, double experience bonus for the artifact Dragon Emperor Jade Pendant. Ding. I go. How come the level and number of sea monsters have almost doubled? How quickly did Li Vaiden's orders spread? It has only been less than half an hour since Suchen came out of the abyss of fear. Logically speaking, this time is not enough for the sea tribe to accept Li Vaiden's order. At least until tomorrow, the number of sea monsters besieging Dragon City will increase sharply. Is someone helping me? At this moment, Yun Feiyan sent a video call. Younger brother. The number of sea monsters besieging Dragon City suddenly doubled. News came from my brother Zunlong's intelligence department that this was a conspiracy of the 20-nation alliance. They colluded with the High Clan and spent 1 billion gold coins to let the High Clan besiege Dragon City. Suchen was stunned. Damn it! Spend money to increase my experience. What a good person, underscore. Fei Lu reminds you, 3 things about reading, collect, recommend, and share. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 257. In the conference hall of the 20-nation alliance. Hundreds of guild heads are sitting separately, gathered together through virtual projection. How is Dragon City now? Will the High Clan keep their promise and storm Dragon City? A guild asked eagerly. After all, no one wants to waste their money. The leader of the Viking Guild acted as the narrator himself, with a reserved smile on his lips, pointing to the picture on the giant virtual screen and saying, "Everyone, please take a look, this is the real-time picture sent back by our giant Eagle Knight. Because the range of Dragon City's city defense weapons is too long, the shooting distance is a bit far, but through a multi-magnification telescope, you can still barely see that the number of sea monsters attacking Dragon City has doubled several times, and the entire Broken Dream Island is surrounded. The battle was extremely tragic. In addition, I want to tell you some good news. In addition to higher levels and a larger number of elite sea monsters, the Sea Tribe also sent out a level 55 elite poisonous flying fish and a level 60 epic boss blunt-headed giant shark this time. Among them, corrupted flying fish can leap up to a height of 80 meters, and has 200% corrosion damage to buildings, ignores defense, and lasts for 10 seconds. The epic boss blunt-headed giant shark weighs 200 tons, and its head is like a giant hammer. It can destroy cities and demolish villages when hit with full force. And every impact can temporarily reduce the opponent's defense. No matter how high the Dragon City's defense is, as long as it is struck enough times, it will eventually collapse. The leader of the Viking Guild said confidently at the meeting. One is corrosion, the other is collision prevention. If the two work together, even if the Dragon City walls are made entirely of steel, they will still be breached and smashed. Viking Guild. After the gang leader finished speaking, hundreds of guild bosses in the field looked excited. Good. This 1 billion gold coins are worth spending. Finally found the secret weapon to defeat Dragon City. The leader of the Viking Guild pressed down his hands to signal everyone to be quiet, and continued with a reserved smile. I understand everyone's excitement, and I also know everyone's deep hatred for Dragon City and King's Landing. Several gang leaders including War Overlord, God's Whip, Sakura Purgatory, Godstar, and I agree that this invasion of the Sea Tribe is the most promising one for us to destroy Dragon City. If this siege is very effective, we can consider adding more investment again. In addition, since Ratchet City was captured by King's Landing, and the city's defenses were not as strong as Dragon City's, can we invest an additional billion gold coins so that the Sea Clan can also take care of this Ratchet City? As the saying goes, if there is no light in the east but light in the west, even if Dragon City cannot be captured, if we capture this Ratchet City, it will be a heavy loss to King's Landing. What do you think? At the meeting of the Alliance of 20 Nations, all the guilds discussed for a while. Then they all raised their hands. This is a very good idea. Send the Sea Clan to Dragon City Ratchet City direction guidance, our pressure will also be reduced. I War Overlord Guild agree. God's Scourge Guild agree. Sakura Purgatory Guild agree. Soon, hundreds of guilds unanimously approved the Viking Princess proposal. The latter quickly contacted the Sea Tribe through the pirate leader Executioner Jack. One of the leaders of the Sea Clan, the Hydra Clan, said that at this time tomorrow, Ratchet City will be destroyed. The captain's room of the pirate ship Vengeance Queen. Yoon Fei-Ian on the virtual screen, her pretty face full of worry. Brother, no matter how many sea monsters attack Dragon City, my sister will not be afraid. What I'm afraid of is that those guys will use the help of the Sea Tribe to attack Ratchet City we just got. Our Ratchet City has not been specially reinforced. In addition to its original city defense facilities, there are only thousands of rapid-fire artillery pieces. Once encountering the crazy attack of the Sea Clan, I am afraid that Ratchet City will be destroyed. Yoon Fei-Ian's worries are not unreasonable. Suchan thought for a while and said send more manpower to help defend Ratchet City. In addition, I will send people to Ratchet City to urgently reinforce the city wall. As long as we can hold on until tomorrow, there should be no problem. Tomorrow? Are you going to take charge of Ratchet City in person tomorrow? No, Suchan said with a faint smile on his lips. Tomorrow, the High Clan will only attack Dragon City. Yoon Fei-Ian's beautiful eyes widened and she asked curiously why. Suchan smiled and said, because a guy named Li Rishan promised me. Yoon Fei-Ian. Ignoring the confused Yoon Fei-Ian, Suchan turned off the video call. As soon as he turned around, two beauties, one big and one small, stretched their heads to look at him curiously. Seeing Suchan looking over, the third princess, Ling Xuang, quickly pulled her sister aside and warned her with an extremely serious expression. Did you see, he can actually talk to himself in the air? Sister, I would say, there is something wrong with his head. Stay away from him. Suchan rolled his eyes angrily and lay down on the bed. First, through telepathy with the umbrella girl Yingying, he asked Yingying to take 28 dwarf legendary engineers to Ratchet City to reinforce the city wall. Then he checked the heavenly universe array given by Li Vaden. As for the question of how to integrate the adaptive scale armor, Suchan planned to wait until he returned to Dragon City to consider it. Heavenly Universe Array. Grade, God level. Description: this array contains thousands of rules and can be used to seal the formation or to protect the formation. The ultimate power of the formation depends on the materials used and the level of the formation master, ranging from useless to unlimited. Understanding this array requires a lot of energy and time. The higher the qualification, the less energy and time it takes. Note, during the process of enlightenment, you will not be able to do anything. Please enter the safe area before enlightenment. Is the power of the formation capped? Seeing this sentence in the description of this array diagram, Suchan suddenly became a little excited. Does that mean that as long as the formation materials I fuse are of high enough grade and my level of organism engineering is high enough, I can create a general level, main god level, or even god level formation? This is so comfortable. Suchen immediately started to comprehend. Ding. It currently takes 30 days to realize. The player Junlin has a qualification star level of 500 and can accelerate 100 times. It takes time to fully understand, 7.2 hours. Have you begun to understand? Friendly reminder, during the process of enlightenment, you will not be able to do anything. Please enter the safe area before enlightenment. I'll go. It only takes more than 7 hours to fully understand. Anyway, he has nothing to do sitting on the boat now. With little Kwei here, he is not afraid of a sneak attack by the third princess Ling Shuang. He immediately entered the state of understanding _Wan Wu. For the underlined version of the novel. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 258. The game was launched the next day. Ding. The artifact Dragon King Jade Pendant successfully converts energy and gets you free attribute points *500. Ding. Congratulations on your successful understanding of Heavenly Universe Formation Diagram. 2 system prompts came in succession. Suchen opened his eyes, and there seemed to be billions of stars twinkling in his eyes. This universe formation diagram actually melts all things in the world and turns them into a large array of energy. The higher the level and quantity of the smelted items, the more energy the formation has, and thus the more power it can use to seal or defend the formation. No wonder the power is said to be unlimited, that's the truth. Suchen thought for a moment. Once the ruins of the Imperial City and Dragon City are completely transformed into a floating city, he can arrange this heavenly universe formation on the floating city. With his infinite fusion talent, he can completely transform the formation into a floating city. The defense ability has been upgraded to the level of true gods and even general gods. At least before entering the land of Tianyuan, the defense of the floating city is guaranteed. In this way, he can first fuse the adaptive scale armor. Wait until the unification. After entering the divine continent, he released Li Vaden and asked him to contribute tens of thousands of scales and fuse them into the floating city. After figuring out the joints, Suchen suddenly felt good. Only then did he notice that Xiao Kwei the girl was sitting next to her. Her face was red and she was looking into her eyes stupidly. Master, your eyes are so charming, Juer feels so dizzy. Suchen quickly came out of the state of thinking about the heavenly universe array and his eyes returned to normal. This silly girl, the heavenly universe formation is a god-level formation, and Suchen's mechanism engineering technique level has also reached the god level. With a thought, a faint divine light can even appear in his eyes, which is constantly calculating billions of divine machines. How could she, a little Lolita, just watch it casually? After asking the new pirate first mate, the pirate ship now has only 2 hours of driving time left from Dragon City. Suchen looked at the experience storage tank. 1,035,000,000. I go. In just one day, nearly 7.5 billion experience points were added. You know, if the general situation of Sea Tribe invasion is followed, even if Hautunia Chordata is used, it will take 2 days to save 8 billion. Now it reaches 11 billion in one day. It's enough to upgrade 1,000 level 50 golden dragons. Suchen is in a good mood. The alliance of 20 nations is so powerful. Without their selfless help, he would not have been able to get so many experience points so quickly. When Li Vaden's order spreads throughout the endless sea, I can get more experience points. I hope, the experience points gained by then will be enough for me to upgrade 10,000 golden dragons. At this moment, a bright red server-wide announcement text floated in front of Suchen's eyes. Ding. Server-wide announcement. Sea Tribe invasion. The plot has changed. Ocean Overlord Leviathan orders all sea tribes to attack and will not stop until death. Duration, 3 days. Seeing this announcement, Suchen's eyes lit up. Li Vaden's order finally came into effect. Master, Juer, Please don't attack Master's Dragon City, Jur feels so uncomfortable. Xiao Keiwei on the side suddenly broke out in cold sweat and fell to the ground exhausted. As a member of the Sea Dragon clan, she is also suppressed by the orders of Ocean Overlord Leviathan. Because he did not want to attack Suchen's Dragon City, he violated the order of Ocean Overlord Leviathan and was suppressed by Li Vaiden's pressure. The third princess Ling Shuang on the side quickly hugged her sister tightly. Jur, don't disobey the ancestors' order. You will die. Suchen was also frightened, but he did not expect this situation. He quickly shouted into the air, Li Rishan, lift the suppression of Xiao Keiwei. He didn't know whether Li Vaiden could hear him, or whether he could eliminate the suppression of a certain sea clan alone. You can only try it first. The third princess, Ling Shuang, refused to give up when she saw her sister, even though her face was wrinkled in pain. He immediately gathered 100 ice spikes and aimed at Suchen. Damn you bastard! Hurry up and terminate the master-servant contract with my sister. If Jur has any shortcomings, I and you will fight to the death, but... Xiao Keiwei struggled, pulling on the corner of my sister's clothes. Sister, don't hurt, master. At this time, a system prompt suddenly sounded in Suchen's mind. Ding! Ocean Overlord Leviathan lifts the command suppression on Sea Dragon 9th Princess Keiwei. As the prompt sounded, Xiao Keiwei, who was lying on the ground with a pale face, instantly returned to normal and stood up. Huh? Master, sister, I'm fine. Third Princess Ling Shuang. Suchen. In an instant, a flash of light flashed in Suchen's mind. Her eyes couldn't help but look at the third Princess Ling Shuang, who was standing there blankly next to her. What are you looking at? If you look again, I'll dig out your eyeballs. Ling Shuang scolded angrily. Suchen suddenly laughed. He smiled a little mischievously. Li Rishan, can you order Ling Shuang, the third princess of Heilong, to sign a master-servant contract with me? Suchen said to the air. Hiss, I didn't expect you to be a pervert just like that guy Subuking. Li Vaiden's unique and arrogant voice sounded in Suchen's mind. The latter laughed. Li Rishan, I guess you must have put some kind of aura or imprint on me, otherwise you wouldn't have heard my call so quickly. Clever. Otherwise, why would I like to deal with you? Don't worry, it's just a breath. If you don't call me, I won't be able to sense you. The third princess Ling Shuang on the side laughed angrily when she saw Suchen talking nonsense to the air again. Idiot. My sister survived the catastrophe, that was her natural blessing. Do you really think that if you just say something stupid, magic will appear? Don't talk about Li Rishan, even if you begged Wang Rishan or Zhao Rishan, you still didn't, ugh. Third Princess Ling Shuang's eyes suddenly widened. Her face turned red. There was a look of terror in her eyes, as if she had seen a ghost. Ancestor. The third Princess Ling Shuang never expected this. She really felt the ancestor's majestic pressure, which was as majestic as the heaven and the earth. And the pressure was extremely clear, it was to make her sign a master-servant contract with Suchen. Can he really communicate with his ancestor? Didn't he steal the ancestor's scales? Why does the ancestor still want to help him? Thinking back to what Suchen said before, that adaptive scale armor was given to him by his ancestor. The third Princess Ling Shuang suddenly felt great fear in her heart. He couldn't help but look at Suchen. He was actually able to obtain gifts from his ancestors, and he could also invite his ancestors. For the first time, Suchen's image in her heart changed dramatically. Become extremely mysterious, and powerful. Suchen smiled and took out a piece of contract paper and slapped it in front of the third Princess Ling Shuang. Come on, press your fingerprints. From now on, you will be my slave. You can no longer beat or kill your master. Fila reminds you, 3 things about reading: collect, recommend, and share. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 259. Several slender jade fingers appeared from the hands of the burly evil man who was the disguise prop of the third Princess Ling Shuang. I couldn't help but press down on the contract paper. No. I don't want it. Third Princess Ling Shuang's eyes were full of struggle and fear. Her previous attitude towards Su Chen was so bad, who knows how she will treat herself after becoming his slave. Moreover, her bad impression of Su Chen now is not as bad as before. Completely changed his outlook. In his heart, he was quite resistant to the extremely intimate relationship with Su Chen becoming his own master. The most important thing is, she is the third princess of the Sea Dragon, and she is proud and proud. How can she be someone else's slave? You know, she had praised her before Haikao. Her husband must have the qualifications of the Qing Emperor, the proud talent of the world, the common master of the world, and the gods and demons must condescend to him. But if she becomes someone else's slave, what qualifications does she have to say such a thing? She has to be obedient and obedient to the man in front of her all her life. However, Ocean Overlord Leviathan's oppression of the sea people is like the pressure of gods on mortals, and it is not affected by her willpower. Dare to resist, that is death. Snap! The third Princess Ling Shuang was dripping with cold sweat and fell limply to the ground. But she still refused to sign the contract. The ninth Princess Yao Keiwei, who was standing aside, rolled her cute big eyes. Suddenly she picked up the contract on the ground. Paper, grabbed my sister's finger and pressed it hard. I succeeded in tricking my sister with my strength. Ding! The contract was signed successfully. From today on, the third princess of Heilong, Ling Shuang, becomes the slave of Junlin, and her life, death, honor and disgrace are all tied to Junlin for a period of 10 years, and she cannot repent. If you violate your oath, God will punish you. No. The third Princess Ling Shuang looked up to the sky and screamed in sorrow. G20 meeting. Because of the sudden server-wide announcement just now, hundreds of guild minds debated. The war overlord with blonde hair and a majestic face walked to the stage, frowned and shouted. Quiet. The conference hall gradually became quiet, and everyone looked at him. The war overlord said in a deep voice. The server-wide announcement just now is undoubtedly extremely beneficial to us. Although I don't know why Dragon City Leviathan, the overlord of the ocean, within 3 days, all the sea tribes attacked Dragon City, which was enough to destroy Dragon City 10 times. According to the official information revealed by the God's Domain online game, Ocean Overlord Li has the power of a god and is the supreme overlord of the entire Endless Sea. Even if this overlord is sealed, other powerful beings in the Endless Sea can still break through Dragon City. So, everyone, our opportunity to defeat a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity has arrived. A guild leader asked below. Can the 1 billion gold coins invested yesterday be recovered? Yes. If I had known about this announcement, I wouldn't have spent the unjust money to invite the Sea Tribe to attack Ratchet City. In this regard, the war overlord is also a little helpless. 1 billion gold coins, even if the exchange rate between game currency and real currency has dropped, there are still hundreds of billions in cash. It is enough for him to build a new city. 1 billion gold coins have been given to the pirate leader Executioner Jack. If you think you can defeat the other party at sea and get back the gold coins, or you can convince the other party to spit out the gold coins, then go ahead. I, the war overlord, will support you spiritually. The minds of the guilds. Seeing everyone fall silent, the war overlord snorted coldly in his heart and said, Now, in the plot of Sea Clan invasion, all our crises have been resolved. Dragon City will definitely be destroyed, and it's just around the corner. What I want to remind you is that the energy of Junlin and his allies is definitely focused on Dragon City. If we attack Ratchet City at this time, we will get twice the result with half the effort. At that time, Junlin, without the protection of the city, and Fire Phoenix Star's Jialan Temple, the three major guilds have completely become lost dogs. It's time for us to beat up the lost dogs. The War Overlord's words once again stirred the minds of all the guilds. A new storm began to brew. Revenge Queen Captain's interior. The third princess Ling Shuang looked at her biological sister with tears streaming down her face. I felt a deep betrayal. Jur, you. Little Kwei showed a big smile, held her sister's sleeves and said, Sister, don't be angry. The owner is very nice, you will know later. Suchen laughed loudly and said to the third princess Ling Shuang. Come on, Shuang call the master and listen. The third princess Ling Shuang looked humiliated, but she had to be bound by the strong master-servant contract. Two words popped out from her teeth. Owner. Ha 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 ha. The tone is still a little stiff, but that's okay. You'll get used to it after calling it a few times. Suchen is in a good mood after accepting the third princess of Heilong as his slave. You know, this girl is a level 80 saint. She has a life value of 8 million, an attack of 50,000, and a defense of 15,000. She has dual cultivation of magic and martial arts. There are also two major powers. Forbidden spell level skills. In the future, if I fuse some high-grade treasures for her, it will be a sure thing to break through to the god level. With that guy Li Rishan secretly cooperating with me, and with the help of the two Heilong sisters, integrating the power of the entire Endless Sea is just around the corner. At that time, all the endless resources and treasures in the sea will be put into Suchen's bag, and the journey to unify the entire divine continent will surely be smoother. The Revenge Queen is 600 miles away from Dragon City and can no longer move forward. There were so many sea tribes around who had received orders from Ocean Overlord Leviathan that they almost filled the sea water hundreds of miles around Broken Dream Island. The entire sea seemed to be boiling, with huge waves and all kinds of ferocious sea monsters everywhere. Suchen asked the pirate ship to anchor here first. Then he said to the third princess Ling Shuang. Shuang turn into a dragon and let your master ride. Ling Shuang, the third princess of Heilong, was extremely aggrieved and humiliated. But it can only turn into a huge sea dragon of 100 meters at the bottom of the sea and rise into the sky. Under the horrified looks of all the pirates, they carried Suchen and Xiao Kwei and flew towards Dragon City. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 260. Dragon City at this time. Although the city is 100 meters high, it was surrounded by countless sea monsters. These sea monsters are piled up in layers. There was even a giant steelback killer whale that was hundreds of meters long and crashed into the city wall desperately. Among them, the east wall near the sea has the largest number of sea monsters. The other three walls on the north, west, and south are also surrounded by countless sea monsters. But what made Yun Fi Ian, who was in charge of Dragon City, a little confused? There are many kinds of these sea monsters and various attack methods, but they all adopt the stupidest method of siege, hitting the wall. Sister, why do I feel like these sea monsters are getting stupider and stupider? Yesterday, those sea monsters would cooperate with each other and jump on the city wall to try to break through the defensive shield. Now these sea monsters are obviously stronger and more numerous, but they can only hit the wall, and they line up to hit it. They can obviously climb the city wall and the defensive cover to launch attacks. The cute little white rabbit asked in confusion. As the elite nanny of the Fire Phoenix Guild, the cute little white rabbit is now in a state of doing nothing. The sea monster only hits the wall, and the players defending and attacking on the wall are not damaged at all, so she will naturally nothing to do. Yes, look at the group of sea monsters in the southeast corner, which are the most hated rotten flying fish in the city defense. They also lined up to hit the wall without spitting out any venom. Isn't this letting us just lie down and earn experience? Yunfi Ian knows the properties of the Dragon City wall. The defense value is 10 million, and it also has 100% rebound. The sea monsters hitting the wall around her seem to her not only not attacking the city, but more like committing suicide to lose experience. Because of the order of Ocean Overlord Leviathan. Now all the sea monsters are coming to attack Dragon City. The sea siege status in other cities only lasted for 2 days and ended. Some went to Jingtao City and other places to coordinate. Players who had earned mission experience in defense returned to Dragon City one after another. Because there were too many sea monsters around Dragon City. Even if rapid-fire artillery, multiple rocket launchers, mage towers and other city defense equipment were fully fired, they could not kill them all. On the contrary, the guild members who guarded the city wall earned a lot of experience. They were all throwing magic balls, arrows, and flying spears, and had a lot of fun. Haha! A group of stupid fish can only hit the wall, but can't even hit anyone. This experience is very rewarding. When the announcement was first made, I was almost scared to death. I didn't expect it to be such an siege. This state will last for 3 more days, which is enough for all of our 3 major guilds to raise their levels by a large amount. Our little experience is nothing, at most we are picking up some leftovers, and the boss of King's Landing is the one who gets the most experience points. Well, it's just a pity that those equipments can't be picked up. Just when hundreds of thousands of members launched a mindless attack on the sea monster outside the city, suddenly a shocking dragon roar came from the sky. I saw a 100-meter-long sea dragon with a slender body, splitting the water and heading towards the dragon. The city is coming. Damn it! There is a dragon. At least it's a lord-level boss. Hurry up! Adjust multiple rocket launchers. Take aim. Aim for shit. Didn't you see that it was a green ID? Friend. Friendly troops. Huh? There is also a familiar person standing on top of the dragon. It's the boss of King's Landing. Did the boss change his mount again? It used to be a black dragon, but now it's a sea dragon. So envious. I only have 1 horse now, but I didn't expect that the boss's dragon has 2 heads. Boom. The 100-meter-long sea dragon suddenly fell downstairs in the East City under the shocking gaze of hundreds of thousands of players. The sea dragon let out a roar and instantly transformed into a graceful girl. With a pair of blue dragon horns on top, she was as beautiful as a fairy. Well, the surrounding players were stunned. Snort. The third princess Ling Shuang snorted coldly, obviously very dissatisfied with the looks cast by the players around her. Yunfi Ian came over with the cute little white rabbit, and said with surprise and joy, "Brother, you are finally back. This is your new pet." Looking at Ling Shuang's head, the third princess of Hai Long, Yunfi Ian and the 2 girls were shocked. It turned out to be the sea dragon royal family. Can they be adopted as pet mounts like this? The third princess Ling Shuang glared at Yunfi Ian fiercely. This princess is not his pet. Su. Chen smiled and patted her head. Shuang, if you don't behave, you have to call me master. Although Ling Shuang was extremely reluctant to have her head touched by Su Chen, due to the constraints of the master-servant contract, she could only whisper, "Owner." Su Chen introduced, "She is not my pet, she is my new maid." As soon as he finished speaking, the cute little white rabbit looked ambiguous and suddenly realized, "Oh maid, I understand. You know shit." Yunfi Ian knocked the cute little white rabbit angrily, and then reminded Su Chen intentionally or unintentionally, "Brother, although this is a game, you still have to keep yourself safe and don't mess around. Otherwise, my sister will pluck your ears off and eat them fried in meat during the day." Yunfi Ian's beautiful eyes revealed the slightest hint of danger and a hint of sourness. Ever since Su Chen saw him naked last time, Yunfei feelings towards this younger brother have become even more different. At this moment, the little sea dragon Kwei, who had been entangled in Suchen's sleeve, also came out. When she landed on the ground, she transformed into a cute little loli who was about 15 years old. She pinched the corner of Suchen's clothes and said cutely, "I am also the master's maid." The cute little white rabbit's eyes widened. "You are so small, brother Su, you are also." Suchen opened his mouth, his face darkened. Not entangled in this matter, he asked Yunfei, "How are Dragon City and Ratchet City doing now?" Yun Fei glanced at the third princess Ling Xuan calmly and said, "The crisis in Ratchet City has been resolved. Sister Ying and the legendary master have increased Ratchet City's defense by more than 10 times. Plus my brother is personally in charge there, so there won't be any problems. As for Dragon City, you have also seen it, it is a sure thing." Yunfei rarely said a bad word. This shows how speechless she is about Dragon City's perverted city defense. By the way, brother, do you know why these sea monsters attacked the city so brainlessly? Could it be related to the Li Rishan you were talking about yesterday? Suchen said with a faint smile on his lips. Yes, he got these sea monsters for me, just in time to earn a lot of experience. Li Rishan is the ocean overlord Leviathan in the announcement. Yunfei and the cute little white rabbit opened their beautiful eyes. What? You actually got in touch with the ocean overlord? The ocean overlord Leviathan, which shocked the whole server, is a god-level existence. He dispatched all the sea monsters in the entire Endless Sea to attack Dragon City relentlessly. Actually, he was helping Suchen earn experience. This is what I have to say. Go out, who believes it? But in the current situation in Dragon City, aren't those sea monsters just giving away experience and equipment? At the same time, Yunfei thought, if this is known to those in the 20-nation alliance who are eager for the destruction of Dragon City, I'm afraid don't mean to be so shocked that your eyes will pop out. The plot of Sea Tribe Invasion was originally an opportunity for all players in the server to upgrade their levels and equipment. But now it's like letting Dragon City have it all to itself. Feeler reminds you, 3 things about reading: collect, recommend, and share.